Ready. Play.
Let's go with Jakub Mensik against Fabian Marozsan. This would be the hipster's choice, I guess, right?
I think so, yeah. Marozsan, excellent ATP 1000 records. Obviously, the win over Alcaraz in Rome. Just beat Rublev for the second time this year, I believe. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's a threat to Mensik here. And kind of like I said previously with Draper, we were waiting for a chance to kind of see if the slow clay performances of Mensik will match what he did in Madrid, where he was obviously amazing, but a lot of that was based on serve. I think when I saw like this graph of, the serve quality, backhand quality, insights and stuff like that, the serve, I mean, he was just outplaying every other quarterfinalist by a country mile. And the other ones, not necessarily, which made sense also on the eye test. Like definitely the quicker conditions there, that was perfect for him. And after the match against Gigante, I still have a lot of questions in my mind. I think it's pretty much a 50-50 match. I imagine that obviously, like in terms of the odds, bookies, market, and stuff like that, Mensik would be favored. But
Yeah.
these never really look at like conditions and things like that. This whole section looks pretty open, obviously, right now. And yeah, I think Marozsan Mensik, provided that Marozsan plays a decent match, because I guess for him, there's like a bigger A game, B game disparity. Seems pretty open to me. I think even before the tournament began, right, we were just like highlighting this section as one where literally almost anybody could win, because all the seats have some question marks, some asterisks, and that still remains the case, even with Hurkacz and Mensik still there.
Mensik, of course, losing to Cerundolo in Madrid, having won the first set, but eventually went down in 3. Might well see a similar pattern in this one. I think it's really, really difficult to call this one, because I don't think Rome is exactly somewhere on the Mensik list of sort of tournaments where you would circle it at the beginning of the year going, that's where I think my breakout might come. That's where I think I've got the best chance of winning a 1000. I would probably lean on clay a bit more on Madrid, perhaps, rather than the other tournaments. One thing I do want to ask you is about Mensik. Yeah, on clay in general. His best performances and results have tended to come on hard courts, right?
First challenger title was in clay, but yeah, typically. I mean, of course, if you grow up in the Czech Republic, I don't remember if he's from Prostějov, or I think he might be from Prostějov, but basically, yeah, of course he knows clay. Of course he's played on it so much over the years. It's not like he's gonna be terrible on it. Yeah, won a challenger, had some very good matches. But typically, yeah, especially as we go up the ranking ladder, I'd imagine that, well, first of all, the serve has been so crucial in his runs in Madrid, Miami, anywhere else too, especially now that he's like, at that 20 plus aces a match level, really, a lot of the time. And movement wise, I think he's perfectly fine, but still doesn't really want to be like, just stuck defending the entire time. That doesn't generally lead to good results for him. In Miami, it was so crucial as well that his forehand, which has some technical deficiencies, like he can just, cut it short, be confident with it. Tougher to do on clay when he has to generate all the pace himself. So I do think he is not going to be super strong in like Roland Garros, Rome, or something like that. But, he's still good enough to be in the mix, at least. I just don't think he's going to be winning these events anytime soon.
No, that's what I think too. I thought it was a really fascinating question that was posed by someone, and I apologize who that was that posed it. Yeah, it was a great question about, do you remember the question about Fonseca, or does Fonseca win his first, or does Mensik?
Yeah.
It was a really good question, because there's so many different directions you can go with it. Or does Mensik, of course, win his second? I think I leaned with whoever was talking. It was you and someone else. Probably, I'm just going to say you and Brenner, but it might be
I think,
and
and
Fergus,
also
maybe.
probably Brenner, yeah.
Okay, and maybe that might have been the epic with Carson as well. And I would probably just lean Mensik right now. I just think there's a few more tournaments where he's basically in the mix, and obviously Cincinnati was one that really sort of that. Now that is one that you would circle at the beginning of the Mensik year, or even right now, as being, yes, I think that's where I should really make sure I'm fit and firing and ready to go, because that might well be another situation where he's going super deep, and maybe even the final if things work out. Yeah, I thought it was a really interesting question. Yeah, I think I would lean towards Mensik getting a second, but also partly because of where we are in the year, and even just where we are right now with Zhao, who's having a little blip with, I think, 3 losses in a row.
100%. I just think because we have Canada, Cincy, Shanghai, and Bercy coming up, and all of them,
Exactly.
Mensik is in the mix. Fonseca not this year. So I think for now definitely makes sense, but no one will be surprised if, I don't know, Mensik doesn't win one for another 2 years and Fonseca wins, I don't know, whatever, Madrid next year. Like it's a possibility too, but percentage-wise, I think it's slightly Mensik because of the fact that the best events for Fonseca have probably ended now. I think he might have a bit of a Serundolo-like breakdown for now in terms of loving the first 5 Masters and not necessarily the next 4. Although Monte Carlo, Rome, I guess it also remains a little undecided.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.